Hey guys, this is Hunter, and today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a look at how you can create a login system using Visual Studio and C Sharp. Okay, so today what we're going to be doing is exactly what I said before. We're going to be creating a login system using Visual Studio, coding with C Sharp. And this is pretty much what we're going to be getting once we are done with done with all the coding. So there is two different things here. There's a create account section and a login section. When you create your account, sadly, it's not going to be using a database yet. I will have a video on using databases, but for now, just to keep it a little easier, what I'm going to be doing is it's going to be saving and reading from a text file. Obviously, if you're doing this for if you're going to be releasing to this public, or you're going to be using it for anything professional, you're definitely not going to want to store passwords and usernames in a text file. You want to go ahead and use a database and make sure the database is secure. So check out another video if you're looking to create something more professional. This is just for someone who's trying to learn and get familiar with the kind of database or the saving reading kind of features built into Visual Studio. As I said, right here in the create account section, when you enter a username and password, it will be saved to a text file, and when you go to log in, it compares what you type in here to what is stored into that text file. If it shows up that it is the exact same and that they match, then it will say, okay, you have been logged in, you've been granted access. If it does not match, then you will be faced with an error message saying, you did not give the correct credentials, I'm sorry, try again. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how this works. Just to show you, this is what we're going to be saving it to. It is empty at the moment. I'm just going to minimize this, and we're going to type in type in some stuff. So bush Wookiees, because why not? That's going to be our username, and then the password's just going to be 1 through 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to create account, and then OK. We're going to go back, and I'm going to show you that it did indeed save. It is separated by a comma. That I would tell you later on why that is. But anyways, when we go back, I will just show you, if I delete this, just to show you, I type in the exact same stuff that we typed in earlier. It should work. You have been logged in. Now, if I was to type in something up here, or if I did the right thing up here, but nothing right down here, it's still going to say invalid. So this is pretty much what we're going to be creating today. So let's get right into it. Before we start creating it, though, I do want to say I will have this whole project and a link in the description. If you have any questions, or you're not sure what you did wrong and I don't get back to you in time, which I will get back to you if you have any questions, you can reference this project and try to figure out what you've done wrong, or you can just have it here just because you want it. So it will be in the description for those of you who do want to utilize it. Alright, so what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to open up Visual Studio. I have Community 2015. Create a new project, and I'm going to be using WPF applications. WPF is just nice if it's just more professional type of application. If you're using Windows Forms or Console, you can do that, but I stress not to. It's not really as professional as WPF is, and WPF, I think, does a way better job about managing data and laying things out for you. But we're going to be sticking with the WPF today. If you don't know anything about it, it's quite okay. I'll guide you through it. But all I can say is it's quite similar to Windows Forms, minus the XAML feature embedded into WPF. So let's go ahead and create a new project. I named mine Login System YouTube. And you should be granted with a designer window or the XAML window. This is the designer, and this is all your XAML. This pretty much just holds all your data and it really just nicely lays out everything. And then your XAML.cs is your actual class that will be holding all your methods and statements that of course controls everything. So what we're going to want to do is go ahead and start on the create account piece. Now before we get into this, I want to do something just so we don't forget. Right click on your project up here, go down to open folder and file explorer. We're going to go into the bin folder, then the debug folder. We're going to create a folder in here. I'm going to say save data, and then in here we're going to create a text document, and I'm just going to name it account data, and that's all we need to do. This is what we're going to be saving it to. Just remember the name of your folder and your text document. Okay, with that out of the way, what we're going to want to do is we're going to need to put in 2 labels. At least on the left side, we need 2 labels, 2 text boxes, actually 1 text, 1 password, and a button. So let's go ahead and get started on this. If you scroll down here, you can see a text box. You just drag it right in here. And down here, you will see this is, we have created a text box, and these are all the properties of the text box. Right here where it says name, we can rename it right here. So I'm just going to type in txt, enter username, because this is going to be our username box. And then our text property over here, we can just get rid of because we don't really need it for this tutorial. So this is going to be our username box. So what we should do, just so we are aware of that, take a label, place it right above the username box. I'm going to go ahead and rename the label, even though it's not really needed in this tutorial. It's nice to go ahead and get in the habit of always renaming your asset. So in the content property, we want to rename this to enter a username. This is what will show up in the as the label. So with that done, we pretty much want to repeat what we just did, but instead of putting a text box, we want to use a password box. The difference is when you type in a text box, it shows you plain text. When you type into a password box, it is, instead of the text showing up, the plain text, it will show you a bunch of dots, asterisks, or whatever you set the character to be. By default, it's a bunch of dots. So let's go ahead and resize this, place it where you want. And down here, I'm going to rename it. I'm going to put txt, enter password. And then that one's all set. We're going to get another label. We're going to place it right here, rename it. Let's see, enter password. I can spell password right. There we go. And then the content, exact same thing. Enter a password. All right, and then right now we just need to add a button, and then we can get started on the first part of coding. So we're going to scroll up, grab and drop this button over here, and expand it just slightly, and we should be good to go. Okay, renaming the button to btn create account, and then for the content we're going to say create account, and then over here after the last quote and before the slash we're going to put space. We're going to type in click enter to autofill that, and then where it says new event handler, click enter again, and it just created an event handler for the click. So whenever you click this, it will go to this event handler to handle everything, which if you go switch over to the CS class, it has created right here for you. So what we're going to do to get this started is type in string username. We're going to say equals txt enter username dot text, and then end it. We're going to type in another variable. It's going to be password, also a string, and it's going to be equal to txt enter password dot password. All right, and we're going to create one last one. It's going to be string save data. And this one, we're combining both of the previous variables together to make one. This is going to make it easier for when we go to save the information. So we're going to say equals. I'm going to put them between two different parentheses. It just cleans it up, I think. We're going to type in username plus, and then in between quotes, we're going to put a comma. This is for when we parse the text file later. So after that, we're going to add password. Okay, now before we can proceed any further, we need to go up into our library section, drop a line, and type in using system.io. This is the library that allows you to save and read text files. Alright, now we need to drop one more line, one or two, and we're going to type in file.write all text. And then in between there, we're going to type in the @ sign, and then we're going to open up two quotations. And in between the quotations, this is where we put our file path to our text file. So as I said, you should have remembered your folder name and your text file. If you don't remember, you can always go back, open the folder in File Explorer, and relook at them. I know what I saved mine as, so we're going to type in save data. Then we're going to put in the slash symbol, and then we're going to type in our actual file name, which was accountdata.txt. After the last quote, we're going to put in a comma, and we're going to send it save data. So pretty much in this statement, what is being said is I want to send everything that's in save data to this file, and I want you to write all of it. Okay. So right here, it pretty much, this is all we really do need to write the file. But just as a safeguard, what we're going to do is we're going to highlight all the text, right click, click surround with, and go down and click on try. We're going to add a try catch block, which is pretty much is a safeguard to where if something went wrong during this, it would tell us, hey, this is wrong, this is what you need to fix, instead of just the whole program crashing. So after exception, we're going to type in EX. Get rid of that throw statement. I'm not too sure why that's even there, or I don't know why the developers decide to make that default, but we're going to type in EX, nope, scratch that. We're going to type in messagebox.show, and in between the parentheses, we're going to type in ex.message. So if something goes wrong and is caught here at the exception block, it will put up a message box and give us the information here. If everything goes right after the file.write all text statement, we're going to type in messagebox.show, and in here we're going to say account creation successful. Then, comma, we're going to type in a title, which is going to be success. And then these last two options are completely optional. You can do them if you want. You can add an account button, and you can add a message box image. I should have said message box button the first time. I'm going to make my information. Once again, those last two are completely optional. It's completely up to you, but it is not. It is something that kind of adds to. So the first half has been completed. Let's go ahead. I'm going to resize the form here. And if you do Control F5, it will launch your program. Okay, right here we have our username and password. Just to show you that everything is working, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you the text file once again. It is empty at the moment. So minimize that for now, and that is not the program. Here it is. We're going to type in Bush Wookiees 2016, and then a password, which I'm just going to do same as last time. Okay, account creation successful. Now what we're going to want to do is close out of that, and we can go ahead and check. We need to check. And the text file. So Bush Wookiees 2016. It is separated by a comma. There is no spaces in between them, which is vital. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is our password, as I said. So this is saved here. Now what we need to do is work on retrieving it to match up the accounts. Now, as far as design goes, it's pretty much the same exact thing that we have here, copied over to the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video here. I'm going to go ahead and copy that stuff over. And I'll be right back in just a few short minutes. Alright guys, I am back. The one thing that you do want to make sure that you do when you create this next half is when you go in here to the login button, you want to make sure that you do create a separate event handler for it. So click and then click new event handler. Make sure you do not select the previous event handler that we made, or else it's just going to create a new account over again, which we do not want. So once you have everything created and you have your new event handler created as well, go ahead, go over back to the XAML.cs. We're going to go down to the new event handler that we just created. Now what we're going to want to do, type in string, make another username, proper or variable, set to the same thing, except we're going to set it to text username, which is my login username box. Dot text. Same thing with string. Use your set the password. Same thing with password. Set it to your password text of the login side. Alright, with that, what we also are gonna need, I'm gonna type in character, and we're gonna say split char or character. Just gonna leave that there. Or actually, let's say equals, put the two squiggly brackets, and inside I'm gonna do a single quote, a comma, and a single quote again, just like that. Underneath that, we're gonna type in string. We're gonna make it an array. I'm gonna type in, let's see, what was I going to say? Okay. String result equals file dot read all text. Oh, wait a minute, we don't want to do that. What we want to do is type in, we just want to create a string saying, I'm gonna make it pull results, and that string is going to equal read all text, and all we have to do is re-enter our file path. So this is going to be save data slash account data dot txt. Enter that, and now we make the array, call it result, and that is going to equal pull results dot split, and in here we're going to put in split character, just like that. And now we just have to compare them. So we're going to make a simple if statement saying if username equals result 0, 2 and signs, and we'll say password equals result to the first index. Then we're going to say message box dot show, and then 2 quotes, successfully logged in, success, and then there. Okay, and if we type in an else statement, we're just going to put in message box dot show, and in this one we're going to type in invalid credentials. The title I'm going to make error, The button is going to be okay. And then this is where the images come in handy. You can put an error image. Okay, and this should conclude the whole tutorial. Let's go ahead and check to make sure that this button works. So, I'm going to go ahead and start the program. And I'm not going to enter anything on the create account side, only because if we go back and check, it should still be in that text file. So it is. So let's just go ahead and rerun our program and type in the username, Bush Wookiees 2016. And if everything was correct, it should say successfully logged in, which is good. If nothing was if something was off, it should say invalid credentials, which is exactly what we're getting. So I hope you guys learned something very new, something that you guys can play around with, and hope this helped with a lot of you. Once again, this whole project will be in the video description. If you have any questions at all, please send me a message on YouTube or even comment down below, and I promise I'll get back to all of your questions. This is Hunter. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you later.